Hello, 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 and welcome to Project Impossible. It's a podcast with me, Rich Leigh, where we talk to incredible people about who they are, why they are who they are, what they've achieved, so success, failures, challenges, all that good stuff along the way. And my hope is it's looking at what's truly possible if we put our minds to it. Today, I'm speaking to Sikisa. I first met Sikisa at the Comedy Store in London when I was invited to head there with the first guest of this series, Emmanuel Sanubi. He said, "Hey Rich, I'm playing tonight. If you find yourself in London, then come along." I did. Went backstage, and definitely didn't deserve to be in that green room. It was full of very, very funny human beings. But also had the pleasure of watching Sikisa and others and Emmanuel perform that night. It was the first time I'd been to the Comedy Store. It was incredible. Loved it. Met her there, and then said, "Oh, we'll have to record." And then we got around to it. And Sikisa, as well as being a stand-up comedian, is an immigration rights lawyer. She is a wrestling podcast co-host. She is a burlesque performer. She teaches comedy. Basically, you'll hear. She's incredibly busy, doing brilliantly. She's been on Live at the Apollo. And her Edinburgh Fringe show was actually nominated for the best show at the Edinburgh Fringe, which is just incredible. You know how many people perform up there. So I went into this conversation with Sikisa hoping to bounce around the things she does, why she does quite so many things, and I think we get into it pretty well. We do chat about wrestling quite a bit up top. I don't know tons about wrestling, but Sikisa was very happy to educate me, and I hope you enjoy. I hope you had a lovely, lovely Christmas. I hope you overindulged. I hope you enjoyed yourself. It's all about balance, eh? That's what it is. Without further ado, I bring to you my conversation with the wonderfully talented, God knows how she fits it all in, Sikisa. Enjoy. Sikisa, thank you so much for inviting me into your lovely home.
No, thanks for coming. Sorry for the chaos. Yeah,
it's all good. It's all good. And me messing around, setting up around you as well while you edit your wrestling podcast, which I was listening to on my way up.
Yes, we love wrestling. Too much wrestling is happening in the world, but we do love wrestling.
How do you keep up? How do you keep up with it all?
I think I just find time. I don't really watch TV. I watch reality TV shows.
Okay.
But I like to watch shows that I can download and watch on the tube. So I would just watch that on the way to work. But wrestling I normally can't. So I normally watch it. So my wrestling days, this sounds really nerdy, but it's not. My wrestling days are Tuesday, because Raw happens on a Monday night. If I don't watch Raw live, then I'm watching it on Tuesday morning. And then I'll watch AEW on a Thursday afternoon normally. And then I'll watch SmackDown on a Saturday morning.
Okay, so it's not actually that much.
Plus,
it is a lot, but it's
plus there's the pay-per-views which happen on a Saturday night, sometimes a Sunday night, and there's also indie shows which I go to in person. I also host Eve Wrestling sometimes, which happens on a Friday night at Big Penny Social. So there's a lot of wrestling going on.
There's a load of wrestling.
There's a lot of wrestling going on.
I heard you say that a dream of yours was to manage wrestlers, not be a wrestler yourself, but to manage wrestlers.
Yeah, because everyone told me, "Oh, why don't I get into wrestling?" And I never really wanted to be a wrestler. That's not anything I ever wanted to do. When I was younger, all I ever wanted to be was a manager. I think I'll be a better manager. What's
his name? Is it Paul Bearer? Is that
Paul Bearer, which is the Undertaker's manager? But Paul Heyman for me, Paul Heyman is currently for me the best wrestling manager probably ever. If anyone would dispute it, it'd probably be top 5, but he's definitely for me, he knows how to do facial expressions. He knows how to manage a crowd. He's great at just what he does.
How did you get into wrestling?
How did I get into wrestling?
Because I think, are we about the same age? I don't know.
I'm in my mid-30s.
Okay, I was born 87.
Yeah, so was I.
Yeah, 87. Okay, sweet.
It's mid-30s.
Listen, I've just turned 38, so I think I've just gone over now that because 37, you're still mid-30s.
Yeah, go away. It's mid-30s.
Right, still mid-30s. I think I'm now into latter years of 30s.
Yeah, no, I'm mid-30s. I don't care what anyone says.
You're absolutely mid-30s.
I'm going to be mid-30s till the day I die.
So for us, it was Undertaker. Undertaker, yeah, but Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Legion of Doom, all of these guys, right?
Yeah, well, I got
This is
into
WWF.
Yeah, WWF, which now turned into WWE. I got into wrestling when I was 11 years old. A cousin of mine brought a wrestling tape to another cousin's house, and it was WrestleMania 1999. And the first ever match I ever properly watched was The Undertaker versus Big Boss Man in a Hell in a Cell match. It's the worst Hell in a Cell match. Well, actually, no, it's disputed to be. It's probably one of two worst Hell in a Cell matches. But at the end of the match, The Undertaker hung the Big Boss Man, and I was like, I'm in. Like, if this could happen on TV, I'm in. So then we didn't have Sky, so I used to ask my dad to tape the Sky shows, the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, so I got into that probably August of 1999, and then I was lucky enough that Channel 4 had bought the rights to WWF in 2000 and aired 4 pay-per-views per year, would also air Raw, also air Heat, also air SmackDown on Channel 4. So I would stay up late at night and watch that. And the first ever pay-per-view I ever saw was Royal Rumble 2000, which is probably one of the only pay-per-views I could watch from beginning to end.
Right.
And they had some epic moments in it. It was the first ever tables match with the Dudley Boys versus the Hardy Boys. It was Mae Young, who was in her 80s, whipping out her boobs on TV. It was the Royal Rumble match. It also features one of my favorite matches ever, which is Cactus Jack versus Triple H in a street fight. One of the best matches ever. So
who was your favorite wrestler at the time?
The Undertaker was is my favorite wrestler. Still is my favorite wrestler, even though his politics I don't agree with.
That documentary, the Netflix one about
Vince McMahon.
About Vince McMahon, yeah.
I don't think it was made for wrestling fans. I think it was made for Netflix fans.
Basically, the gossip, right?
Yeah.
It was all the scandal and all that.
I found it interesting. Some things I was are fully aware of.
Sure.
And some things was kind of it's interesting to see it from a Netflix perspective, especially because I feel like halfway through the documentary, with everything that was going on with Vince McMahon, they kind of were like, this is going to be good gossip. So, yeah.
Pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I did enjoy it. I can't lie. It was fascinating. And I mean, he's built something pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Right? He's
built
amazing.
an empire.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Because I mean, again, thinking when I started secondary school, The Rock, and you couldn't move for people, just bloody
Stone Cold Steve
Stone
Austin.
Cold, all the Suck It's, Suck It was the best. it was
I actually have a D-Generation X original jersey.
Do you? When did you first go and watch it live then?
I actually watched.
Welcome to Wrestling Cast, by the way.
I watched my first ever wrestling show that I watched live was I bought me and my cousin wrestling tickets 2000 and probably 14, 15.
Okay.
It was actually quite late. And I had been doing comedy and I had...
they're not cheap though, are they?
Yeah, they're not cheap, but I was able to afford before they went skyrocketing price-wise. Change your prices, WWE.
We'll clip that. I'll just shut up now.
Yeah,
So you just
clip your prices, WWE. Just do it. Too expensive. I want to go to WrestleMania. But I was able to afford Sky seats at the top. And
Where was it?
For Raw. So it's WWE Raw, which is televised, but it was at the O2 in London.
Oh man, nice.
So that was the first ever live wrestling show.
That was incredible.
And I was it was probably 10 years ago. Yeah. So it wasn't that long ago.
How many people were there?
It was full. It's sold out.
Absolutely sold out. So there's nothing like that feeling, is there?
Yeah.
I've not been to wrestling, but again, UFC, been to it, and it's just electric. It just feels...
It's great. They had a pay-per-view, and it was one of the decent pay-per-views in London a couple of years ago. So it was Money in the Bank. And I paid for 4 tickets. So I went with my cousin again, because she loves wrestling. And then also we took 2 members of the podcast with us, so Ibs and Danny, and they didn't know where we were sitting. And as we're walking down, we're getting closer and closer towards the ring, and you can see they're like, what the? Where is that? What's going on? So I managed to get decent seats for the podcast and my cousin, and we had the best time. Like just seeing my favorite Roman Reigns, John Cena came out, surprised everyone. Just watching a decent pay-per-view was great.
If you could have any sign, like, you know, if you could hold up any sign, let's say you could go in the next, what's the next big wrestling event?
So they're coming back to London in January.
Right. What?
But they're doing, the next pay-per-view is actually next week.
Okay.
It's Survivor Series War Games.
Right. So
War Games. Right, I've got to do the voice. War Games!
All right, that might... No, it's okay. Yeah. I thought that had stopped GarageBand. It hasn't. Yeah, what sign would you hold up?
What sign would I hold up? Probably plug the podcast. Listen to Wrestle Club podcast. I probably would say Roman Reigns marry me.
Yeah,
I love Roman Reigns.
I'd let Roman Reigns marry me.
Yeah,
Jesus,
yeah.
What a
sexy.
stunning human being.
Sexy.
He's still wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I saw a picture of him the other day from like 10 years ago to now, and he barely looks any different.
Well, he does.
Does he?
He does.
Am I being kind to him?
You are being kind.
Okay.
Like, he had some work done.
Oh, he had some work done?
There's a moment where he returns back from a long period of time away, and it's during the pandemic. A lot of people would say that Roman Reigns saved WWE during the pandemic, and it's arguable. But he comes back and he looks the same, but also you're like, something's different.
Okay.
He's had his teeth done.
Okay. I mean, that's not... Hey, teeth's fine.
No, but it's...
Is it like proper turkey teeth?
It's proper noticeable.
Right, okay.
And even wrestlers started doing memes when he came back about his teeth. It was hilarious.
Right.
But now everyone's got used to it. So, yeah. But he looks completely different. Like, Roman Reigns 10 years ago is not the Roman Reigns you know now.
Right.
And Roman Reigns now is a superstar. He's a megastar.
Yeah, I mean, is he the biggest now?
Arguably, I would say he is the biggest. Arguably, people would say Cody Rhodes is the face of the company. I wouldn't say so. I would say it's Roman Reigns currently. The Bloodline storyline was probably the best thing in the last 5 years.
Even I know that. As I say, I used to, when I was driving around with my producer Eddie, I love people that are passionate about things. I think that's my favourite thing in the world, is talking to people. I don't know all that much about wrestling. I've got fringe knowledge, right? But I love hearing when people are passionate about things. So my editors and producers really all in on wrestling. He was telling me about the Bloodline.
Yeah.
And I was just like, enraptured by... I just think, I don't know anything about this, but I love that you do, and I love that you know everything, and I love that you want to tell me everything. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Yeah, I could talk about wrestling for days, to be honest with you. Like, the impact it's had on the world is amazing. The careers people have had from, like, not moving away from wrestling. So The Rock's obviously a massive movie star. So is John Cena. So is Batista.
I mean, Hogan was the original, right?
Hogan was original.
So I remember watching, like, was it Commando, or there was a what was it?
He was in a Rocky film as well.
He was in a Rocky film, but there was also, it was like, what was it? It was like an alien type film. It was proper like 80s, like early 90s. But I think he was the first one that crossed over that mainstream.
Yeah.
Most likely. Like, I could be doing other people a disservice, and I hope I'm not.
No.
Actually, Andre the Giant.
I think, yeah.
Because Princess Diaries.
But I think with Hulk Hogan, obviously he's a pipe. Like, I think sometimes it's the same with like Vince McMahon. If you want to talk about things like Michael Jackson, for example, sometimes you have to like separate the art,
of course,
or the business side from the personal side. And obviously Hulk Hogan's had some controversy over the last like 10 years about his racist comment. And obviously he's recently passed away, and you can't like...
That was a weird moment. That was a weird moment, because a lot of people were like, hey, he is kind of inspiration in some ways, but also let's recognise the shit that he did, like the negativity. But social media's got...
Even some of the WWE superstars, when they came out and did the moment of silence for him, they weren't there. They were noticeably not there.
Yeah.
So
it's funny, like you can't be wholly good or bad. Like, you know, it's like, yeah, it was a weird moment. So 11 years old, you sat watching wrestling. What kind of kid are you?
Nerd, really?
Yeah.
Just was really focused on like school, and like I just started a new school, like secondary school. So I just wanted to like fit in and stuff like that. And then discovered wrestling and then became a nerd. And then from wrestling, discovered rock music.
Yeah.
Fell into rock music.
Who are you into?
Huh?
Who are you into?
Well, it was Evanescence. Evanescence was the first ever concert I ever went to when I was 16, 17 years old. It was the first ever concert I ever went to. Papa Roach, Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park.
Yeah.
So rock music.
So you were always like Kerrang. Oh no, you said Kerrang, right?
Kerrang
was you.
Yeah, Kerrang was my show.
I was always MTV Base. That was I was like.
Well, it was between the two. It was MTV Base or Kerrang. Yeah. It was never MTV. It was just boring for me. But it was always MTV Base, especially because MTV Base had like TV shows as well. So Wild and Out was on it. Mm-hmm. And that was one of my favorite shows.
See, because when I hear Pony now, I think of MTV Base, and everybody else thinks of
Magic
Mike, right?
Yeah.
You know, because it used to be in the little interstitials, didn't it?
But also it was like the music video era. Yeah, like Aaliyah, like I
loved it.
Used to be a dancer. I'll say used to be, I still technically am, but like I knew I was self-trained, and I've got photographic memory. So I would watch music videos and just immediately remember the dance routines. And would just be doing it in my living room, and my mum would be annoyed because I'd be wearing out the carpet. But
what a mum thing to say.
Yeah. This is our second carpet.
Yeah.
Maybe third.
You've ruined the others.
I've ruined the others because it literally was like wearing out. But that was my thing. Like I would come home from school, watch music videos, do my homework, dance. That's what I used to do. And then in the evenings, watch wrestling, then occasionally, if it was a song I didn't like, I would just flick over to Quran.
That's the thing. You used to be able to do that. You back up and it go between the two. You know, God, it's a memory. I haven't thought about MTV Base or Kerrang in a long time. But as soon as you said like all those names, I was like, that literally just sounds like a procession of clips on Kerrang. Which
is what, like, one of my favourite festivals. Like, I'm not really a festival person, but I love Download Festival.
You've been to Download?
I've been to Download 4 times. Probably 5 actually now. Yeah, it actually might be 5.
My brothers love all that.
So yeah, because seeing some of my favorite, like I was lucky enough to see Evanescence 3 years ago at Download Festival. I was lucky enough also to perform at Download Festival since then. But
they have a stand-up tent, do they?
They've got a stand-up tent. It's in the village, which they do on Wednesday and Thursday. But managed to see Evanescence. No one else of my friends wanted to come and see Evanescence, so I went by myself and stood there and cried.
Oh, bless you. Did you know every word?
I knew majority of the words, but obviously Amy Lee's just an amazing singer, but it just brought me back to me being 17 years old and watching them for the first time.
What did you want to be when you were 17?
A doctor.
Okay.
No, I lied to you. It was a dancer. When I was 15, maybe 14, I wanted to be a doctor. And then I was not very good at biology and chemistry. So I kind of realized that was not going to happen. Mm-hmm. So I've always wanted to be a dancer, but because of like, it had a bit of a stigma when I was growing up that it was never going to be a well-paid job. So it's always something that I did self-taught for like fun. I did GCSE dance and A-level dance. Did
you ever perform at like any groups or anything? Did you?
Yeah, like we did talent shows and stuff like that. And like I ended up teaching when I was in year 11. No, year 10 actually. So I would have been like 14. I ended up teaching the year above me at one of Aaliyah's dance routines for our dance recital.
What was the song?
More Than a Woman.
Yeah.
So I taught them the actual routine, and it was scary for me because I'm like, these girls...
They're bigger girls. Do you know what I mean?
Girls, they're going to be pissed off that someone younger than them is coming in to like teach. But it was a learning curve, and then I went on to teach at Pineapple briefly.
You did? Oh, nice.
And then I got into like cabaret, and became a performer in cabaret and burlesque shows.
And all this was way before comedy, right?
The dancing was,
Yeah.
and then I got into cabaret when I started working at the Cavendish Arms. But it was probably like 7 years later, maybe like 5 years later after I started working there.
So how old were you when you started at the Cavendish Arms?
20.
20. So you're at uni?
Yeah, 20. I was at uni.
At uni studying law?
Studying law at
So
uni.
what made you go from doctor, dance to law?
I kind of was like, let's pick something.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was either
Really?
that or psychology. And I applied for unis. I think I applied for some unis for like psychology and some unis I applied for law, and I got into Kingston. My A-levels weren't great.
Right.
So I kind of was like, well, I'd just be grateful that I got accepted on the law course for Kingston.
But was uni always something you were going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, my household was always like...
Your parents are quite like, that's where you
Oh, they're
go.
strict West Indian parents. They come from... Yeah, of course. It was like education or you're dead. What are you doing? Like, so it was always going to be the thing that I was going to... And obviously, growing up in an industry, growing up in a world where it was like, if you work hard, get a good job, get a good education, you'll get a good job, get money, get yourself a property, have a family, have the life in it. The British
I
dream.
feel like that's what we were sold.
That's what we were sold. That's
we were
not what
totally sold that. And that's not the reality, is it?
No, it's not.
We entered the job market in a recession.
Yeah.
And then there's been a couple of blips since.
Yeah.
And everything is just far outstretched. Incomings versus outgoings, and who can? Not many people are affording mortgages now. Not many people are buying houses. It's and now, I mean, Christ, you're penalised as a business owner. You're penalised. It just doesn't feel. It feels like we missed out on some of the good times, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then you got your parents, or not yours necessarily, but you got people saying, just try harder. I could do it. It's like, when you bought a house for 40 grand.
Yeah, exactly.
Shut up. Like, they used to be, postmen used to be able to have a family of 4 and just them work,
Yeah, all my friends who've got kicks now have had to move out of London because they haven't been able to afford to remain in London because of like the cost of living crisis.
Yeah.
And also like safety as well in this country, in London especially. So it's interesting the dream that we were sold when we were younger, and you think, oh yeah, but it's going to be fine, and then you forget about the fact that you don't even realise that you have to pay taxes, you have to be a grown up. I never also lived away from home, so I never really had like...
Even when you were at uni?
Yeah, even when I was at uni was like an hour away, so like I stayed at home.
Yeah.
So I never really had that uni life.
Right.
It was always just me working. I worked 3 jobs when I was at university, 3 part-time jobs.
So you were dance? No?
So
Something to do with selling bras, I saw.
Yeah, I worked at La Senza.
Yeah, oh, nice.
I used to work at La Senza.
I'm familiar with their work.
Yeah. Yeah, it used to be really awkward when men come into the store.
Hey, hopefully I don't make it awkward. I'm like, this gets edited out. Right, this is the size. This is what we're doing.
Well, I'm glad you know. Some men did not know. They will come in and be like, hey.
But they're like, I don't know, yours?
Yeah, that's literally what they would do. They'd be like,
looking at you, going, maybe.
Just a little bit smaller than you. Just look at a bra before you leave.
Yeah, it's not the hardest thing in the world, is it?
Ridiculous.
That's hilarious. So selling bras, what else are you doing?
Selling bras, selling shoes. I used to work at Barrett's.
Okay.
I worked at Barrett's since I was 16.
Yeah.
And then also was working in the pub when I was 20.
So you were literally one of those people that's I just need to work. I just need to make myself some money. I mean, I was very simple, worked as second I could, work in a couple of jobs, used to work at a clothes shop and then go and work at a restaurant. It's just...
the grind and the hustle was something
when you
I
don't
always
come
taught.
from money.
Yeah.
When you don't come from it, I remember making my first tenner and I was like, this is the best thing in the world because you're not getting that otherwise.
Yeah, because I used to get EMA when I was in sixth form.
Same.
Yeah, EMA was great.
Wasn't EMA the best? Like,
EMA was the best thing.
30 quid a week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
30 quid.
And
I
was a
was
bonus
a millionaire.
there was a bonus. Yeah.
What was the bonus? I don't think I ever got the bonus because it was all based on attendance, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was based on attendance. But our attendance, we used to have a sign-in sheet.
Right.
So you just have to sign your name in when you turned up on the day.
Yeah.
So if you didn't turn up, you just call out your friend and be like, just sign me in. And it's just us just trying to fake signatures just on the side.
Yeah, mate, what a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think...
They don't do it anymore.
They would not do that anymore, would they?
No.
But it genuinely made a difference. And EMA was an absolute godsend.
Yeah. Also, it taught me about saving money and not saving money. I spent a lot of my money on CDs. I used to go to...
What was the first CD you bought?
Oh, well, one was given to me. But I used to buy... There used to be like this R&B, like hip-hop shop in Tooting, because my sixth form in school used to be in Tooting.
Right.
And then me and my friends would go every month, buy a CD. Also spent money on like tracksuits, because we were all matching tracksuits. That was the thing, Nike tracksuits. Yeah. And then also every day go home and spend £1 on chicken and chips. Like there was a place in Tooting that you can like fat chips for £4. Chicken, piece of chicken, piece of chips. And we used to sit on the bus, eat that on the way home.
Yeah.
For £1. That will not happen today. For £1.
There you go.
That will not happen today. And funny enough, so I obviously finished sixth form when I was 18, went to university. The first job I ever had was in Tooting. And like, even in that 6-year period of like me not really being in Tooting, I never used to go shopping there unless it was like really desperate for something. That the area had changed, like the £1 chicken and chip shop had gone. They had built like a TK Maxx. So it was just really different. My law firm used to be on top of a car farm warehouse. So like having the change in dynamic over that last 6 years was crazy.
How did you find uni? How did you find doing law?
Again, it was just something that I was like, I'll be good at it.
Yeah.
And then when I started it, I wanted to do music law.
Right.
So I wanted to...
That's interesting, copyright stuff.
Yeah, copyright. But mostly because I wanted to get into gigs for free. That was literally what I wanted. I wanted to meet celebrities, meet music people, and get into gigs for free.
You're probably on your way, right? Doing what you're doing now.
It's just a different way.
You've just found another way, right?
Yeah. I wanted to do music law and be like the cool person backstage.
Yeah, I know things. I know shit.
Things with the backstage pass and stuff.
Right.
So that's the person I wanted to be. But because of recession, I could never get into that kind of industry.
Okay.
And
it was at uni that you got your nickname Twix, right?
Yeah, well, no, it was... So after university, I did 1 year postgraduate degree at law school. Mm-hmm. Law school was when I got the nickname Twix.
All right.
Yeah, so it's me and my chocolate family, if you want to put it like yeah. So it's the first ever person that sat next to me in law school is now my best friend, who I call my wife.
Mm-hmm. My wife.
She's from Wolverhampton, so she sat next to me, and then we've been inseparable since.
Yeah. What's her name?
What's her nickname?
What's her nickname?
Snickers. She's Snickers because she likes chocolate covered nuts.
Excellent.
And then there's Cadbury's Caramel.
All right. Is that just because she likes Cadbury's Caramel?
No, it was kind of like
smooth cheese.
Well, we used to bring in chocolates into law school, and our tutor was always like, "You should just call yourself the Chocolate Girls." And there was someone else with us who was part of the chocolate family as well. So we all just kind of named ourselves a chocolate that represents us.
Okay. And you are Twix?
I'm Twix, because I'm a Gemini.
Yes, of course.
That's actually the real version. If anyone see me do the stupid joke, it's a very rude joke.
You prefer a Kit Kat?
Yeah, I prefer a Kit Kat. But the real reason is because I'm a Gemini.
Do you know, white Twix is my favourite chocolate.
Oh, no.
So can I, oh, I love it.
You can't have the name. You can't have the
name. I need it.
No, you can't have the name.
That's the only reason I'm speaking to you, so you can grant me the white Twix.
No, you can't have it. Not happening.
Oh, God. So when did you stop calling yourself Twix as a performer? I know we're jumping ahead a little bit and we will go back, but...
It's not that I stopped. It's just some people that I know still call me Twix. And it's really funny because sometimes I can't pronounce my real name, but they'll just call me Twix.
Right.
Like, for example, I was in Edinburgh and Joanne McNally, who I met years, obviously, more or less like, while she was like rising up, I had just been like starting out on the circuit, if you want to put it on. And she saw me in Edinburgh and she was like, "Hey, Twix." And someone next to her was like, "You calling Twix?" And he was like, "That's Twix." And I was like, They were like, no, that's Sikisa. They was like, no, I know it was Twix.
Right.
So some people still call me Twix, and the name kind of disappeared. Because I had done the BBC New Comedy Award, and I had entered it as Twix. But then because it was the BBC Award, I didn't want to be a gimmick name. So I was like, I'm gonna put my full name. Then I got into a panic about that because of my legal job.
Right.
I didn't know if that was going to affect my legal career because I didn't really want people to know.
Yeah, you're living like a double life at that point, right?
I didn't want. So I had throughout the whole competition, it was this weird. Me telling the producers, I want to be known as Twix, or I don't want to be known as Twix, and it was this weird thing. And then afterwards, because the final was like it was my real name, and then when I got signed 4 months later, I had suggested me being called Twix, and they were like, no.
So it wasn't anything, because like Eminem used to call himself M and M, right? And then he's like, oh shit, I don't want any legal stuff with Eminem. So, that's...
So then we just agreed on me just being called Sikisa.
I mean, it's a incredible, you talk about it's a unique name. Is it true? You said that you've Googled it, you can't find anybody else with the name Sikisa. Really?
Google it. Some like weird Arabic or like languagey names come. Like, I don't even think they're names. I think it's in a sentence. I think it's like a word in people's languages.
Right.
And like people have told me that my name means something else in their language.
Yeah. Like faithful, right?
So my mum tells me that my name means faithful. I don't believe her. But she said she found my name in a book of kings and queens.
Right.
But she don't know the name of the book or can't find the book. So again, I feel like you just made this up in Scrabble. Well, my first name and my middle name are two very weird names.
What's your middle name?
Not saying.
Come on.
No, not saying. It's too weird.
Okay. Weird how? You've got to tell me afterwards.
No, yeah, it's weird. This is weird.
Okay.
But if you look hard enough on Instagram, on the internet, you'll find it.
Okay.
Because it's associated with my legal career.
Okay.
But it's just two weird names, and like I've looked it up for years and no one, I'm like, maybe someone will eventually get them. No one's got the name. It's just so unique.
How upset would you be if I had another kid and I named her Sikisa?
I wouldn't be upset.
You wouldn't?
Keep the legacy going.
Okay, right.
Keep the legacy going. We need the legacy to continue.
No, I mean, it's one of those names you've touched on before, like Madonna, right? You said you like music, just being Prince, being, it's just cool.
Yeah, Beyonce.
Beyonce, just like one name, bam.
Yeah. I think it kind of represents my stage persona.
Yeah.
I think very much just like Sikisa is very much like diva.
Okay.
Yeah, in a good way. Not in a bad way.
Let's then talk about comedy, which we've managed to not do for about 25 minutes. Well done us. You talked about being at the Cavendish Arms.
Yes.
Yeah, the Cavendish Arms. Now they did open mic nights, and that's where you kind of first you're working at the bar.
Yeah.
And somebody said something to you that is it a compliment?
My boss told me I was slightly funny.
Slightly funny.
Yeah. She was just like, you're slightly funny. Why don't you give it a go? Because by that time...
What did you say to that?
I just kind of was like...
Cheers.
Nah.
Okay.
Like, I just kind of just like fobbed it off because like speaking was something I was not very good at. Like public speaking was something I'm not very good at. And because... I think it's because I later found out in life that I'm dyslexic.
Right.
So like me and communication has never been very good. So, and I used to say the wrong things and people would laugh when I was younger. So like me talking was never really a confidence thing for me. I was very good at performing on stage, but as long as there was no words involved.
Okay, so
like dancing, great, absolutely amazing, smash it. No words, love that. But like talking, so when she was like suggesting me doing comedy, I was like, no. And like, I didn't really understand comedy. Like, it was like, it's not like I didn't enjoy it. Like, I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed like seeing people perform, but I didn't understand what made a joke work or what a joke would. Like, I didn't.
So you didn't have like the technical understanding
Yeah,
of it. But
I just.
you know what made you like? Was there any comedy you did watch? You said that you watched sketch shows and that
Yeah,
sort of thing.
I used to watch Last of the Summer Wine.
Yeah.
All the Dad's Army. I was a very weird kid.
I mean, Only Fools and Horses?
Keep Only Fools and Horses,
Yeah.
Keeping Up Appearances. The Far Show was my favourite show.
Yeah.
I was just a weird kid who just loved, like, weird sitcoms.
Slightly older generation sitcoms.
Dinner Ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because me and my mum used to watch them together. But, like, my mum doesn't really have, like, she has, like, a sense of humour, but she doesn't have, like, she's not, like, ha-ha funny, if you want to put it that way.
Okay.
And then when I was like in my teens, going into university, I discovered Def Jam comedy. And so, like, started to discover Eddie Murphy and, like, Kevin Hart and Cat Williams and Martin Lawrence, who used to host Def Jam comedy. Those kind of people. And I was
remember first watching Def Jam. Bernie Mac was the first. He was first up. And me and my friends still, summon the bitch.
Yeah.
Like, we still, like, you know.
And then I used to ask my dad to download the shows when you could, like, LimeWire.
Lime, I'm like, because
so, like, we have, like, DVDs over there as well that he used to make up. So, like, you see his Richard Pryor there and stuff like that. And, like, the Queens of Comedy, the Kings of Comedy. So it was like Cedric the Entertainer.
Oh my God.
Bertie Mac was on it. DL hugely. But yeah, so they were all for them. And then it was the Queens of Comedy with Monique and stuff like that. So I used to watch all of those and I loved those. That was my favorite things. But I never thought I would be able to do. I just used to enjoy watching those. And then sometimes me and my friends will go and watch comedy, like what they call them, the urban gigs. There used to be urban gigs around London.
Was that like black
comedy circuit? Yeah. So they're still going.
Def Jam was the first time I realised that black audiences are very different to white audiences.
Yeah.
My God. And I remember one, I can't remember who the comedian was, but there was a woman in the front row wearing this big yellow thing. And
he called us a Big Bird.
Yeah, there you go, you've seen it. And honestly, I fell around. Like, I was like, that is ridiculous. And he goes, what we got? We got Big Bird. Just everybody, like, just goes mental, don't they?
Yeah. They love that, so yeah. But I never thought I would do it. And when she suggested it to me, I kind of was like, nah. And then because I was training to be a lawyer, I had to do my own tribunal hearings as part of my accreditation to become a lawyer, part of my training. And that meant me talking in front of a judge. And because of my confidence, I wasn't really good at it. So I was like, maybe I'll just give it a go. But again, I didn't know how to write a joke. So it was me just mostly riffing and just like talking falafel on stage. And then it was, I think people thought I had personality. When I look back and reflect on it, I think people thought I had personality and that they could see I was trying, but the jokes weren't funny.
Right, okay.
Like there was no joke.
How did you tighten that up?
They gave me the job as a sound person on a Wednesday. They extended comedy version, so it was like 3 days a week. And Paul Langton was the host, who was great. And I would watch him MC, and I would watch comedians come on, like Cindy V used to perform there. Harriet Kemsley was one of the MCs later on. So we had like big people who became big later on come on and do the show. So I watch them and see what they do. And then just sometimes write down things that I thought was funny. And I think when you're a beginner, you do the classic things where you talk about your family, you talk about where you're from, you talk about relationships, you talk about work. So those kind of things.
Did you feel like you could talk about work?
I never talked about being an immigration lawyer. I didn't talk about it until later on. Because I didn't know if
it's a weird line to should those two things meet, what's the line there? You're dealing with day to day, and we will get onto what you do there, but quite serious and important topics, right? And then it's hard to make light of that, possibly.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe you learned how to make light of it, because are you one of those people that thinks you could be like anything can be funny?
I believe anything can be funny. It's just about how you word it. I think that's very important. That's what I tell my participants at Soho Theatre. It's about how you word certain things in order for the joke to land. And I give them examples about a joke that I've wrote, which on paper and technically it's funny and people laugh at it, but it's a very awkward joke. And I don't want to, those kind of jokes is not something that I think fits in my personality and my persona.
Is it like a Ricky Gervais type kind of, ooh?
Yeah, it's one of those ones where people go, ooh.
Sometimes, I mean, you get those comedians that say, like, Bill Burr's, right? You know, who they love the oohs as much as they love the laughs.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're like, you're a gregarious entertainer, right? You know, you're loud, you're out there. Like, you know, you say things that other people possibly wouldn't in dating, sex wise.
Yeah,
you know,
I get away with a lot of shit.
You get away with a lot.
I get away with a lot.
I remember, obviously, I met you at the Comedy Store, and I was fortunate to watch you there, and I was like, oh my God, you're getting away with some shit here.
I get away. I think I've got some weird likability factor about me.
I think that's it.
I don't know what it is.
I think that's it. I think, but you're always smiling. Like, you know, it's like you're in on this with me. Like, you know, come into my life for a minute. Like, you know, let me help you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think on stage I'm very much into, like, we're here to have a good time. It's banter. Yeah. Let's just do some banter.
Well, you talk about energy a lot. And I mean, you've been doing some work with Big Brother recently, right? Tell us about
that. I was doing the TV warm-up for Big Brother. I did it in the spring and I did 3 dates and they kindly asked me to come back and do more dates for the main show, which was 7 weeks. So I more or less was there like 3 to 4 days a week. And they have the live audience.
What a cool gig.
Yeah, for late and live. And all you really do is just warm them up. But it's a nice way it's like an MC gig, really. You're speaking to them. Obviously, we're watching Big Brother. Yeah,
so there's a load of crowd work as well.
Loads of crowd work. I like to talk, like, especially as the weeks were going on, it's about who's winning, who's going to get evicted, how do we feel about the drama? Certain things because I would watch it with them, because obviously we were watching it before everyone else sometimes. And most of the time I was there, it was like evictions just being announced, or like who's been evicted or who's been nominated is just been announced. So you get to talk to them about who do you think is going to, and people's opinions, and try to get them chatting before the actual late and live show, because part of the late and live show is that the audience talks, answers questions. Yeah. And if you don't get them chatting beforehand, get them warmed so they can feel safe, then they're not going to be able to do that in the live show. Yeah. And I like to bring out energy, and I had this stupid song that I would do on set. And I found out that if I wasn't on set and regulars, because sometimes people will come back repeatedly for the late and live show, they would start singing the song when I wasn't there. It was just like, it was just some super song that was just like energy, 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 and I would just do a weird little dance around it, and people would just sing along. It's about energy, 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 energy. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, so the thing is I tell them that how the show was about love, energy and respect, especially if someone got evicted and they were going to be in the studio, or if like a previous season housemate was coming into the studio. I would definitely emphasize the respect, but I definitely would just be like, it's love and it's about energy. So we respect people's voices in the room. We love boos, we love R's, we love cheering, we love clapping. So just bring out the energy. And I want the energy levels to be 10. Don't go 15, it's too much. Yeah. Yeah.
Bring it back.
Bring it back to 10. Don't give me a 6, that's shitty. Give me a 10. But it was all about building like banter. It's about banter and just letting them know it was safe to just like say something as long as it was respectful.
Yeah. Would you like to be in Big Brother yourself?
No.
Why not?
It's one of the questions I would ask the audience. Would you be in Big Brother yourself? And I was like, I couldn't do it. I don't think I could be in that house for 24 hours a day with the same people. Especially for 7 weeks.
Is that what it is? Is it just the same crowd?
It's the same people. I'm going to see your face? No, thank you. No, it's bad. Like, I can't imagine being married in a relationship. Wake up, it's the same face every single day. Who are you? Go away. Not for me.
So when was it you were performing it the pub where you realised, okay, I might have something, and let's go and let's try some. Did you try then other comedy places? Like, what was the?
Yeah, I think.
What was there a moment?
No, I think you just develop and grow as a comedian, and someone suggests to you that, maybe you should try performing here, open up your opportunities, or meet new people. See how other clubs. I think when I first started to go to other clubs, I think I was like, feel like I was an inside spy because people knew I used to work at the pub in it. So like people, I feel like people felt like I was spying on their venue and like being like how they dealt with a comedy night and stuff like that. So I thought that was funny.
What kind of crowds are you getting at the Cavendish?
More now recently, we're getting more locals. Like obviously Nine Elms is open, Battersea Park is open. So like we're getting more people who weren't aware that we were there because we like to call ourselves a little hidden gem.
And are you still working there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Some people are like, why are you still there?
Well, I mean, you do, we said before we started filming, obviously stand-up, burlesque, teaching comedy, working, I mean, your 4-day-a-week job with, the immigration lawyer, and then you podcast, the wrestling podcast, so that's 5 already, and then, is it an occasional shift at the pub, or?
I will cover someone's shift if they can't do it, but I still MC the open mic night. Also because it gives me opportunity to do new material.
Yes.
But it's also nice for me to see what new people are doing and their voices.
Yeah. So when did you first go to the Fringe?
First time I ever went to the Fringe was 2018 with... Or it was 2019. No, it was 2019. It's either 2018 or 2019. Me and Adrian Taus, who doesn't do comedy anymore, but he takes all my pictures, or the majority of my pictures, I should say. We did a split show. The time before that, I went up for 3 days just to scout. I've always recommend anyone does that to go and scout before you actually go and do Fringe yourself. Then either 2018 or 2019, then I did the split show with Adrian. And then 2022, I debuted. Yeah.
I mean, you were just nominated, or you were just shortlisted for the
Ish Award.
For the Ish Award, the best show at the Edinburgh Fringe. I mean, how did that feel?
It was quite surreal, honestly. Like, I find Fringe... I love the Fringe. I love being at the Fringe. All my friends are up there for the whole month, hanging out, we're partying all the time, end up in an after bar till 4 a.m, waking up 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Crazy. Love the Fringe. Love the Fringe. I don't like the falafel around it. Like the competitiveness, the stars.
Do you feel that when you're there?
Yeah. Like when you see stars popping up, especially the first couple of weeks, you're like, where's my stars? Where's that coming? It's an anxiety build when you have a review in, when you find that you've got a judge coming to your show, you're like, why? Yeah. And whilst it's nice, you also just kind of like, gives you a weird sense of anxiety. And I never want to know beforehand. Sometimes I ask if someone was in afterwards, especially if I'm like, if it was a really shitty gig or if it was a really bad gig. Or really great gig. Sometimes it's nice to know that, they were there for that. But the bits around it, I don't really enjoy. But this year, I came into Fringe being like, I've got nothing to lose, really.
I mean, at this point, you've already done, like with the Apollo, you've done, like, some big stuff.
Yeah.
You're not having to prove yourself anymore.
Yeah, that's what...
Is that kind of how it felt?
Yeah, that's how it felt this year. I kind of was like, I want to do the show that I want to do. And I think... I kind of went in there feeling like... Because I always say with this industry, you could be flavour of the 1 month and then nothing ever, like, the next month. So I kind of feel like some people didn't rate me going into the Fringe.
Right.
Or feel like I would be able to succeed with a show at the Fringe. And I kind of was like... Okay, if you feel that way, that's fair play. We understand the industry. But at the same time, I just want to do the show that I want to do. I think I'm a decent enough comedian that I would be able to do a show. Like, it's not like I'm
How
a
long was your
beginner.
show? Was it
It's an hour show.
an hour show?
Yeah, hour show.
How was it building an hour show?
It's a lot of gigs. It's a lot of gigs, a lot of crowd work. It's a lot about what you want to say and what you want to talk about. I knew that I wanted to talk about wrestling. I knew I wanted to talk about immigration. And I knew I wanted to talk about my own mental health in the show. So I knew I wanted to talk about those three things. And I'm actually, like, I went in there feeling like, it is what it is. This is the show. This show that I want to do. And I rate myself. And that's all I cared about.
There's something really beautiful in that, you know, people are always like, just be yourself. And, you know, because you're the only you can be, you know, everybody else is taken. There's that. And in doing so, you then had a successful show, you know, as a very well-reviewed show, a shortlisted for the best show of the Fringe, or because you went, you know what, I'm just going to do me.
Yeah.
And was that the first time you'd really talked about what, you know, it's called Serving Justice? Was that the first time you really talked about immigration in your stand-up in as big a way?
I've mentioned it that I'm an immigration lawyer before in my sets, but I've never gone into detail. Like, I talk about my mum; she's an immigrant. I talk
From
about
Barbados, right?
From Barbados.
Yeah.
I talk about obviously some of the clients that I dealt with, and I talk about it in a both sense situation. That there's some people who are generally need to be in this country because they have no other choice, but there are some people who are exploiting the system. So I talked about it in both ends.
Which I think, not to get overly serious and po-faced for a second, is where we kind of need to be, right? You need to be able to... I had a boxer on in Series 1 called Shabir Haidery. Shabir came here from Afghanistan, awful upbringing. He was 12, I think, at the time. Awful journey. We talked loads about it, the trip. He was a boat person, right? You know, that kid... He got, when they landed, a couple jumped off. They left their baby in the boat because they weren't strong enough swimmers. That was a decision they made. Him, 12 years old, picked this kid up, swam, not a strong swimmer, swam to shore with this baby, saved this kid's life. You know, he's a professional boxer now. He's fighting in a week or two. You know, I've sponsored him for years. He's an awesome kid. We need to hear the humanity of these stories and also go, you know, oh, is it, you know, what's too many? You know, what can the country handle? You know, what, like, I think you need to be able to have that good faith conversation about all these things. Can we have some humanity? Sure. Like, you know, but lots of people can't even find that in themselves. Yeah. You know, they're just like, you know, they're this glom of human beings, just like, you do the same fucking thing. Yeah. I promise you.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I think I think also the media is very good at this, that we forget that we're all human at the end of the day. We all make mistakes. We all are selfish. We all have emotions and feelings, and we want certain things in our life. We want to be loved. We want success. We want a family. We all want those things. And that's what I talked about in the show. And people will go to lengths to get those things, even if they feel like they deserve it or not. So there are good and bad sides to immigration. And I've had people who are lying to my face, and it's very clear that they're lying, whether the evidence supports it or not, or whether the Home Office says something and they can't justify something.
You say that the majority of the public don't understand immigration law. Yeah. It's something I've seen you say a couple of times. Yeah. What do you mean by that?
They assume that every immigrant in this country is the same thing. Some people would say. I think some people are very... What's the word I'm looking for?
One size fits all.
Yeah, kind of thing. I don't think they...
Like every immigrant's the same.
Yeah, they kind of just lump them into the same... Or same with like asylum seekers. They're all criminals. Like someone said to me the other day, oh, we need to get rid of these asylum seekers hanging around our playgrounds. They're not... Like, not every asylum seeker is a criminal, because you forget that British people are also criminals. Like, your dad could be a criminal. Like, someone that was born in this country can be a criminal. You're just pinpointing that every immigrant, every asylum seeker, especially in this day and age with the news, is a criminal. And I think that's wrong.
My theory on that is that there's so much social unrest right now because people have like it's a governmental top-down thing. There's so much unhappiness, so much malaise. People are like, we touched on it earlier on, I work really hard.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not doing very well.
Yeah.
Some people blame the wrong people.
Yeah.
That's like, and the wrong people to me is the people that are desperate for a safe life, a happy life, economic immigration's a different thing, people that are like, oh, okay, like I can have a better, more prosperous life there, but I'm fine where I am. It's like, again, it's all blurred lines, right? And you see the sharp end of it. You see I'm sure you see like the really heart-rending kind of, stories, right? I mean, how do you deal with that on a day-to-day basis?
It's like, I think comedy's probably saved me at times because I've had to deal with difficult things. I had to hear difficult things at times, or have to deal with difficult clients. Not in like the terms, sometimes people are difficult, I'm not going to lie to you, but like in terms of like the cases itself is complex and like you're fighting for them, but they don't understand themselves, the things that they need in order to prove the things they need to prove. And it's all just a bit of a difficult situation. So comedy has helped me in terms of like having to separate work from my life, where I'm like, once I'm out of that office, I'm done. Once the laptop's closed and I need to get on stage, we're a different person.
I did hear you said both are about forming relationships. You need audiences to trust you and you need your clients to trust you. I can only do the best I can with my abilities when it comes to immigration cases and also with comedy. I think that's a really lovely way of melding the two together and to make it, you talked about psychology earlier on and an interest in that. Like there has to be a degree of interest in psychology to go, how do I understand this audience and relate best to them? Because every audience is different, and the same with the people you work with. I mean, I think it's an incredibly important job you do. I love that you talk about the fact that some people are like, you're going to be rolling in it. You're doing all these things, comedy, immigration law.
Yeah,
now,
I'm broke.
Lots of people don't know what legal aid is.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, can you explain what legal aid is? Because lots of people don't understand it.
Yeah, legal aid is basically the government pay a fixed amount of money, majority of the times, for solicitors to assist people in like criminal, family law, or immigration. Mostly, sometimes it happens in employment, it's very rare, or like welfare benefits, stuff like that. So there's a fixed amount of money that you have to assist someone in their application. So for example, with an immigration application, like if I was helping someone get their leave to remain on the basis of their family and private life, we would only get paid £200 and something. That's it. Not even per hour.
Yeah,
that's it.
That.
So people think when I say that I'm a lawyer that I have a high corporate job, that I'm in one of those penthouse buildings with the fancy coffees,
suits, right, and things like that. Like you see all these TV and film, and it makes you think of it's high rises, and everybody's. It looks like The Apprentice, and it's like
that's not my life. I really wish it was.
What about you makes you want to do that? Because it's quite. Is it a thankless job sometimes? Aid? Yeah.
I kind of fell into it. I didn't think I had a choice to fall. Like I said to you, I wanted to do music law, and in order for me to become a qualified solicitor, I had to get a job. And I got this job in this legal aid law firm. And in order for me to do my training course, which is like 2.5 years within the law firm, or it's like 2 years, 2.5 years, depending on where you are. I had to do this accreditation in immigration. And then I just kind of got stuck into it. And I think one of my biggest fears is like change and like moving on, especially when I'm comfortable, moving on to something else.
That step is a scary step,
yeah,
right?
So I stuck in that job for like 7 years, went to a different job, then came back to that job because it felt like comfortable. And now I'm in a new job, work for a new charity.
Oh, cool.
In Westminster, but like...
Can you shout them out? Or?
Yeah, it's called Cardinal Hume Centre. They're in Westminster. It's very much like a wraparound services kind of like centre. They do very good work for the homeless as well as families who are homeless. So... It's
as in UK-based homelessness or in
London,
or immigration?
Well, it's basically Westminster, but they do have like some services, like our service is like pan-London, and some services specifically Westminster, and some services are pan-London. But they have like a family centre so kids can come in there and like play with the toys, and like they've got a kitchen where people can come and cook. Because for example, like people who are in hotels, like asylum seekers, they don't have a kitchen service, and they can't eat the food that is in the hotels because it's not potentially nourished, or it's not in their culture to eat that food.
Right.
So like being able to go to somewhere and cook your own food to take home is like essential sometimes, especially if you've got kids. So the services is very great, and the centre itself is great, and they've been very supportive with me. I kind of don't like to talk about comedy in my day job, but people have found out I do comedy.
Well, that's the thing that they go into, right? And does that change the way that they react to you or interact with you, do you think?
Yeah, because I'm not...
Don't make a joke about me.
Well, like, I think because I'm quite a quiet person. I call myself an introvert, extrovert. So I'm quite quiet when I'm at work. I don't really... I kind of just stick to my job so I can get out the office on time, kind of thing. I do like engage with some people, but like I'm very much like a person that eats at my desk. But then people have found out I do comedy and have been like, I saw you on YouTube. Or
I was going to say, you're not exactly...
You. And it's kind of like the personality on stage is they're like, you're very different.
Do you feel very different? Are you like, no, I've got that in me. It's just that's obviously not appropriate for the workplace right now.
Yeah. There's certain people that you can have a joke with, and some people that you can't have a joke with.
I mean, it's a very serious thing you do, right? So it's just such a juxtaposition sometimes, you know, when you look at it like that. Could you foresee a time where you go full-time on comedy?
Well, I am technically full-time at comedy.
That's true. You're full-time on comedy. You're 4 days a week on Immigrant. Like, so you burn the candle at both ends.
I do. And I'm tired. I'm exhausted. People ask me why I work so hard. There's reasons.
Yeah.
But
what are those reasons? Why do you want to... like?
Probably economy. Yeah, I'm trying to have a better life for myself, but I've sacrificed. Like, comedy was never meant to be in my journey. Like, I didn't expect it to be my journey. I had my own vision of what my life was going to be, and this kind of just came out of nowhere, and I've sacrificed a lot of my time to do it. So that means less time seeing godchildren, less time seeing friends, less time building relationships with friends and family, less time having relationships in a like future romantic kind of way. So I've sacrificed a lot over the last 10 years for comedy, and now I'm kind of like, was it worth it?
What do you feel?
Because I don't know.
Where do you land on that?
I don't know yet. I haven't decided.
It's too early. I think
I think it's because of my age. If I'd started comedy younger, I felt it would have been probably a little bit different.
Well, not to shout him out in a disparaging way, but Emmanuel's a few years older than us.
I know, but
Emmanuel, being for the audience, go back to episode 1 of this series.
Yeah.
And he's
got kids already.
He's already
got the kids.
But you know, life's not a straight line, and that's what we need to remind ourselves, because we're quite. I think again, our generation is quite hard on ourselves for going. You should have your shit together. You should be this. You should be that. And again, you hear that from older generations. You should have your shit. And it's like, it's not that easy anymore. Yeah. It's like, you know, in a world where, you know, you say you've completed Hinge, Bumble, LinkedIn, and Uber Eats. You know, in a world where you say you've completed the dating apps and all that, it's like, there's so much comparison, so much difficulty in the dating world and in all those things. It's like, how it's not what it was, you know? No. So I think, like, again, I don't know you that well, but I'd say be kinder to yourself. Jesus.
Yeah, I try to be sometimes, but in the world that we're living in, sometimes it's quite difficult.
Yeah. And I mean, what does like ultimate success look like for you as a comedian?
I don't think I can answer that question, because there's always going to be something else. There's always going to be something more.
I guess if you're Kevin Hart, right? You could argue, let's say Kevin Hart, like, you know, he's like Chappelle. Yeah.
They always want to do something more. There's always something.
That's the thing. It's always something bigger, better.
And I try not to do that. Like, some people I know, they have like certain goals, or like this, this is where I'm going to be in 5 years' time. I never thought that way. I'm just like, I take one step at a time. I'm like, what do I want to achieve next? So like, when I end up in the final BBC Award, I just want to be able to write an hour show. Yeah. And make a good hour show. Yeah. And all 3 of my hour shows have got critically acclaimed reviews. The last 2 got 5-star reviews. Yeah. Like, as I get into this industry more, become a better comedian. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
I just want to be the
You've been
best
doing it
comedian.
about 10 years now, is that
Yeah,
right?
10 years. I just want to be the best comedian I could possibly be.
Yeah.
And like, it's a marathon. I always tell people it's a marathon, it's not a sprint.
100%. I think that's really good advice for anybody that thinks like, you know, because you hear of your baby reindeer type guys, right? I can't remember his name now. What was his name? Can you remember?
Richard Gadd.
Yeah, Rich Gadd. You know, he obviously had success at the Fringe, and then the show was massive, you know, and all these things. It's like, that doesn't just happen to everybody, you know. There's a reason that's unique.
Yeah, and also it doesn't happen overnight.
Of course. Well, you know, I always say to people, and people listening and watching this probably bored of the whole, you know, it takes years to be an overnight success.
Yeah.
You know, I truly believe that. Because what ends up happening is people see you at the apex, they see you there like, oh shit, she's on live at the Apollo. And it's like, you haven't seen the 7 years that led up to that.
Yeah.
You know?
Same with like people that go on Britain's Got Talent, the comedians, they're always like, oh my God, you come out of nowhere. I'm like, they've been going for years.
Yeah.
You
That was
just
just
didn't know who they were.
an opportunity that they took.
Yeah.
You said that you've written some sitcoms.
Yeah.
Anything anything you've pushed in the direction of a commissioner?
They're in development.
Okay.
That's what we'll say. They're in development.
And I mean, you said that one of them was around immigration, you're working and around that space.
Yeah, it's about a law firm.
Okay.
My best friend ended up working and I ended up getting her a job in the same law firm.
Oh, the one that you actually, hang on, Snickers. Snickers.
It was, we both qualified as lawyers from that law firm, but it was an interesting experience.
Okay.
And so which had some funny, hysterical characters. So I've now turned something similar into it's based, like my sitcoms are based on my life in it. So it's based on that.
Well, that's, I mean, a good point to say is like, we talked about Gervais earlier on. You know, it wasn't until he was in his 40s that he'd written The Office and taken those experiences from his life. And he said, you know, actually, I'm really glad that I had that working life before I do what I do. Yeah. Because
you don't have any experience.
That's it. You get a lot of comedians that come in, they're 20, nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
But it's like, what can you draw on at that time?
Yeah, I think one of my favourite reviews was from Rolling Stones this year, and they were like, she's had so much experience, you can tell it means, like, they said something about me having experience, and I was like, actually, you know,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You said, obviously, teaching comedy. Can anybody be funny?
Yeah.
Okay. What's day one of comedy school? What kind of things are you teaching people?
I find I think the course that I do, whilst I teach about performance, I teach about writing. Mm-hmm. The one thing you need at the start of your comedy career is confidence. To get on stage and to die, get yourself back up and go back again, to understand how to read a room, to be able to do your jokes regularly so they develop, and understand what needs tweaking, how you change a word to edit. That's what I teach at the beginning. I think that's the most important bit.
Can you teach confidence?
Yeah, you can teach confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about selling.
Yeah.
Like I am a persona of me on stage. I'm an exaggerated version of me on stage. I don't think I'm a confident person off stage.
Right.
I'm a confident person. I'm a confident person on stage. Like, you can't touch my ego on stage. Like, that's not gonna happen. Like, Twix, aka Sikisa, is a boss ass bitch. She will say what the fuck she wants to say. If she's trying to heckle her, try heckle her. Off stage, completely different person. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you talked about writing there. What's your process? Are you a post-it notes? Are you a laptop? Are you into your phone notes?
I've got several. In this living room, there's probably like 6 different notebooks hidden away that you can't see at this moment in time. If I'm writing a brand new show, then there's a book for that. Yeah, if I'm writing stage stuff, then there's a book for that. This is books. I'm old school. I like to write things. Right. And then obviously, because people love to have a script, you have to type it up.
Yeah. Right. Who likes to have a script?
People.
Okay. As in, like, you know, when you
submits things.
Right. Okay. You talk a lot about dating in your comedy.
Dick.
And dick. Okay, I'll be more direct. You talk a lot about dick in your comedy.
Yeah.
Has becoming better known impacted things in a positive or negative way, relationship-wise?
No.
Is people are like, oh my God, that's Sikisa. No?
My job is a cop blocker. My job is a massive cop blocker. Massive cop blocker.
Does that mean then that it's harder to get material?
No. No, there's still always things that you could talk about. But yeah, my job is a massive cop blocker. Like people think it's...
So becoming better known is actually like, antithetical to meeting people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Why is it the worst?
Well, it's just like not helpful.
Okay.
Yeah, not helpful at all.
It's funny because
I think also because like if you don't date someone in the arts industry, your schedule is kind of like a bit of a surprise to them.
Right. You hear that a lot, like actors, right?
Yeah.
You hear, it's like, I can only date other actors because they get me having to go over there for 12 weeks or 16 weeks or whatever. And Life in the UK test. Ask me some questions from it and see if I can answer them. Do you remember any? Because you've talked about how difficult it is for people.
Yeah, it's okay. I gotta get those questions up.
I want to see if I'd be allowed into the UK.
You can warn me when I've got them up.
Nah.
Okay. What is known as Lent? 40 days before Easter, 40 days after Christmas, 40 days before Christmas, 4 days after Easter.
Okay, 40 days before Easter.
Okay. Correct.
Excellent.
Which country flag is not part of the Union Jack? Wales, Ireland, Scotland, England.
Ireland.
Incorrect.
What?
Wales.
Oh, of course it fucking isn't. It's a dragon.
It's a dragon.
Of course I'm... Oh, no!
What is the judiciary responsible for? Deciding whether a person is guilty, interpreting the law, looking after a jury, putting people in prison.
Interpreting the law?
Correct.
Oh, my God.
When did the Habeas Corpus Act become law? It's spelled Habeas. Corpus Act become law. Is it 1679, 1687, 1685, 1683?
I love that they're like, it's such a narrow window as well. The first one.
Correct.
Fuck. I'm accidentally staying here.
Which of the events is the bombing of the English cities by the Germans? The Blitz, the Dunkirk Spirit, D-Day, the Battle of Britain.
Yeah, the Blitz.
Correct. So far, only one question wrong.
I feel like if I'd have thought properly, I would have got that, because of course I know.
Why is it called the Glorious Revolution? Women were given the right to vote because there was no fighting, because of the new technological advances, because of new achievements.
I've never even heard of the Glorious Revolution. So women, Latin, peace.
Technological advances, new achievements.
New achievements sound so vague. I'm going to have to go with the first one, women, but I feel like I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Technological advance. No, because there was no fighting, sorry.
Right. Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. All war just finished. No, there's no violence whatsoever.
Which of these venues is located in Greenwich? The Copenhagen Concert Hall, the SECC, the O2, Oratorio de Tenerife.
Yeah, the O2.
Okay, correct. When did the UK leave the EU following the Brexit vote? 1987, 2020, 1957, 1973.
1920. No, 2020.
Correct. That one's easy.
Yeah.
When was the first British Prime Minister, Sir Robert Walpole, in power? 1707 to 1714, 1742 to 1746, 1721 to 1742, 1714 to 1721.
I go D.
Correct.
Yeah. I feel like it was, I knew it was like early 1700s.
Which country's national flower is the thistle? Northern Ireland,
Scotland.
England, Scotland, or Wales?
Scotland.
Correct.
Scotland.
Who developed ideas about economics during the Enlightenment period, which are still referred to today? Isaac Newton, Adam Smith, James Watt, David Hume.
Who's the second one?
Adam Smith.
No, I mean, I'm going to say Isaac Newton.
Adam Smith.
Adam Smith. I'd never heard of Adam Smith.
Many of the great thinkers of the Enlightenment were Scottish. Adam Smith developed ideas about economics, which are still referred to today.
Okay.
One TV license covers all equipment at one address, but people who rent different rooms in a shared house must pay a separate TV license. True or false?
False.
True.
Fuck the BBC. I'm joking.
Okay, too many questions.
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. But that, like, it's interesting to see.
That was 13 and you got...
I got 10.
You got 4 wrong.
4 wrong. Shit. Yeah.
It's not that bad.
But I mean, it's not the easiest thing in the world, is it?
No.
It's just interesting. Like, and that is, so do you have to take that and you have to pass it? What's the pass mark?
I think it's 75%.
Right, okay.
I can't remember.
So I think I saw you say that you've taken it 4 times and failed 4 times.
Yeah, I've taken one of those fake ones.
Oh,
yeah.
that's a fake. Yeah. It's just madness, isn't it? Some of the things they expect you to know.
Yeah.
Who's the most famous person you've been introduced to in the last couple of years? I mean, you did Jonathan Ross's show. That was good a few years ago, right? But you were in the same place as Ric Flair. That's pretty impressive.
Oh, I'll tell you who. Bailey from WWE.
Oh, right, okay.
So Bailey's a female wrestler who's like one of the 4 horsewomen who basically helped establish how female wrestlers are viewed today.
Okay. I mean, when did that change?
Yeah, I got asked to be in a WWE Netflix promotion advert.
Right.
And it was her and the Street Profit. So I was freaking out. And that was probably the best day of my life.
So it's not Jonathan Ross. It's not all of these celebrities.
I'm so sorry, Jonathan Ross.
I love it.
You were great. Loved you. But you're not a WWE star.
I adore that. That is a very nice segue into, I saw a video of yours recently about the Traitors. Best show on TV?
Oh, yeah. It was great.
By so much, right?
Great.
By so much.
I can't believe Alan Carr got away with it.
I was genuinely distraught. I couldn't believe that he got away with it either. I wanted Joe to win. I wanted Joe to win so much.
I liked Joe, but he was getting too aggressive toward the end.
Okay.
Light it up, mate. Light it up.
But he's an intense dude anyway, because he just stares at you like that.
But Alan winning was the... no one even mentioned that the night before he laughed at the fact he couldn't
I'm a faithful.
Yeah, and I was just like, is no one going to address this? How have you got away with this?
The forgetting that he was, this is so inside baseball, but enough people watch Traitors, so it's fun. He forgot he had a bloody a shield that one night, and to be fair, Joe did pick him up on that, and then laughing, he couldn't even get through the sentence, I'm a faithful.
Yeah.
And he still wins.
It was hilarious. I nearly actually was crying at the end when he cried. And for some reason, it just really touched me.
See, I feel like that's crocodile.
You think so? I think it was genuine.
Do you think?
I think when you've been in there for days, because
yeah.
I know Hannah Biskowski, who did the first season of The Traitors,
right.
And she was like, it's so intense in there. By the end, you're kind of just like,
wrought. Yeah. And remember, they're interviewing you all the time, pulling all that stuff out of you. Do you think you could do it?
No,
No?
no.
Would you do it if you were asked?
I would.
Yeah.
If I was asked, I would do it. I think it'd be quite fun. But I think I'll be so intense. No, I think I'll be so upset about what people think of me.
Really?
Yeah, I'd be like, I'd be so worried. I think I suffer from anxiety, so like I worry about what people think of me all the time. So,
I mean, yeah, it's one of those shows where you got to remember that it's a game.
Yeah.
But nobody does.
Yeah.
Nobody ever does. It just gets so intense, so
But
quick.
when it's on the round table, sometimes it gets quite personal. You're kind of like,
It really does.
Dude.
I don't like the way you look. What?
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't like the way you blinked.
Yeah.
It's just like, you picked that cup up with your left hand, not your right. So therefore, Rich is the traitor.
Come on, dude.
But they're grasping at straws, aren't they?
Yeah.
But I honestly, it's phenomenal. So who would you have wanted to win? Or were you happy with Alan winning?
I was happy with Alan winning.
Okay.
I was happy. I thought it was going to be Nick.
Yes.
He was going to be the person at the end.
Nick flopped it.
Yeah, Nick flopped it. I'm not gonna lie, Nick definitely flopped it. But yeah, I was happy at the end.
I did see Harry, I'm the best traitor in the world, Harry, from one of the other series. He did a thing and he said, basically, if he was Jonathan, Kat's name was already out there a couple of episodes before he went.
He would have dogged her out.
If he would have, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Harry, absolutely. Yeah, Harry was just that guy, right? He was absolutely chucking people under the bus left and right. So he said, I'd have done Kat in. And then Jonathan, just being like, why would I do that? I'm finding traitors. I'm finding, and he reckons that would have helped him win.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that.
But phenomenal stuff.
It was.
What is next for you? What are you doing next?
I'm actually releasing a special.
Okay.
My first comedy special is coming out on the 21st of December.
Yeah.
It's being released via Turtle Canyon Productions.
Okay.
Who are absolutely amazing. That have been great supporters of me, especially Stuart Laws for ages. So they're releasing my special.
Okay.
Very excited about
that. Where can we find it?
It's going to be on YouTube.
Okay. Awesome.
On the Turtle Canyon website.
Is it Serving Justice or is it a different show?
No, it's my first two shows combined.
Right.
So it's going to be it's called Life of the Party, but it's going to be my debut hour and my second show, which was called Hear Me Out. Mm-hmm. It was about the fact that I just got diagnosed as being dyslexic and how that made me reevaluate my life.
Well, I mean, on that note, there will be people listening to this, watching this that, might be dyslexic, might think they are, or have been diagnosed as. What difference did that make to your life when you...
I've now got a better understanding about how I communicate, and that was the biggest thing, and how it's made me think about my childhood and the things that I did and how I communicate with people and how I talk to them and how I do express myself better via the movement and how I feel much happier movement than I do talking.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I think I perform so much.
Yeah.
Because I think it just expresses how I feel and just emphasizes the point that I'm trying to make that words could probably never do. So, yeah.
And does burlesque come into that as well?
Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier on that you're off to burlesque tonight, is it?
Yeah, I'm doing a burlesque show tomorrow. So that'll be fun.
And I'm an idiot. I love being an idiot as well with regards to, because you can, if I just come to you as a blank canvas, you can teach me. Is your performance, your burlesque performance, you're a character also, right?
Yeah,
a caricature of yourself?
You're telling a story
okay.
for the movement of because people like to say that burlesque is posh stripping. No, it's not. You don't have to take off clothes in burlesque. It's about you telling a story, whether it's a funny story, a romantic story, a sexy story, or just something that you think is relevant in this day and age, like a historical story. Mm-hmm. It's about you telling a story by the way of movement and removing layers of clothing, or even putting on clothing, because there's reverse striptease that you can do. So it's about telling stories.
And it's always non-verbal.
Yeah. Well, no, you can be verbal about it.
Okay.
You can do like this singing fling, so people will sing and then take off clothes as well.
Right, okay.
So there's so many variations
singing
about
fling,
burlesque.
I like that.
Yeah, there's so many variations about burlesque as well that how people don't really understand because they've got one view about it. Same with like immigration, same with like comedy. There's so many different layers to it, which is what I love about certain things in the world. Yeah. Also my Radio 4 special is coming out. My BBC Radio 4 special is coming out in January and February. Between January and February, it's about immigration. It's funny, but also educational.
That's a big clang. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
When does it come out?
Between January and February, we haven't got like a release date yet, but we just filmed it on Tuesday.
What's it called?
Border Control. Sikisa's Border Control.
Okay. Would you like to do more of that sort of thing?
I did find it stressful to write because I was writing for Radio 4 and I'm very much a person who swears and like,
So is it just a load of bleeps?
Talks about dicks. So like even on the recording, I literally said, I'm so sorry. I think there were some people in the audience who've seen me before. Like, I'm a swearer. So if I accidentally swear, don't. And then I did it a couple of times and people laughed. So it was like, it kind of helped with the nerves.
That's fine. I mean, I'm at that stage. My youngest, she's 19 months old. So I'm at that stage where I've got to rein it back in again.
Yeah.
You know, because you once you're like, hey, I say to my 8-year-old, I'm like, swear words. Don't worry about it. Calm down. Yeah. Bless you. So that's January, February. And then stand-up wise. So special coming out, and then just going to keep doing what you do.
Yeah, just keep doing what I'm doing. I'm trying to gear up to do a mini tour at the end of next year, and then do a bigger tour in 2027.
Nice. Is that an unwritten tour?
Yeah. But if you want an exclusive, I can tell you the name of the title.
Please.
Proceed with Caution.
Proceed with Caution. Why?
I just think there's a couple of reasons. So I'm going to be talking about ghosts and like there's a reason why I'm going to be talking about ghosts. And I feel like I'm a person that people see on the surface and are always like, she's quite intimidating on stage. Yeah. Especially when they see me on stage. But like friendly intimidating. But it's like, she's like, when you hear the accolades, people go, "Oh, that's impressive." I think like there's a lot of like step-toeing around, like especially when it comes to relationships and stuff like that, where people feel that they don't meet my level, and I'm like, you don't have to meet my level. But also, one of my favorite wrestling, I'm gonna say characters, is called. Her name is Naomi. And she has this gimmick of proceed, like that was her catchphrase, proceed with caution. Right. And she used to come out with her ring attire was caution tape. But she's had to come off air because she's pregnant. Right. Just as she became champion. And had this massive momentum. And it's the second time it's happened. Right. Where she's had to come off air because of, the first time was an injury, but this time it's because she's pregnant. Congratulations. But the momentum was so great. Like everyone was loving this character. And so I'm just going to try and like tie in with that.
Sikisa, this has been a lot of fun. I'm so grateful. Thank you very much. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, mostly Sikisa Comedy. I'm on TikTok. Do I like it? No.
Is that a generational thing again?
It's not.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, I think I'm posting the same shit and it just doesn't work. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah,
that's not my thing. Find me on Instagram. I'm always on Instagram.
You dance. You could probably do the TikTok dance stuff.
Find me up. Too much energy, too much time. I'm just old now.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be doing any TikTok dances anytime soon.
And then obviously go on my website. I need to update it, but go on my website.
That's where people can find live show information.
Yeah.
Sikisa, it's been awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye. And we are back. I hope you enjoyed that. I very much did. Loved sitting down properly with Sikisa and getting into everything. I hope you have had a wonderful Christmas. I wish you all the best for 2026 as we get into it. I'll be back next week as ever. And I just want to say thank you. Thanks for subscribing. Please do tell people, that's how this grows. If you enjoy this, if you watch this, listen to this and you enjoy it, then, tell a mate. It will really, really help. If we all did that, then, I might have like 3 or 4 listeners. That'd be incredible, right? Anyway, thank you. Feel free to review. 5 stars only, please. Let's not be haters. Subscribe if you don't already. Most people tend not to. And I'll be back, as I say, next week. Have a good one. Lots of love. Goodbye. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm bored of being told off for the goodbye forever thing, so I probably won't be doing that anymore. Like, just everybody, like, people think it's morbid, and I guess it is, but it's a fun. It made me smile, but whatever. Right. Bye.